Good morning. Welcome to the Muscatine County Board of Supervisors meeting for Monday, March 25th, 2019. Call the meeting to order. The first item of business is to review the agenda. So, second. Scott has moved. Jeff has seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we will receive comments from the public. Any member of the public wishing to address the board on a subject not on our agenda? Seeing none, we'll move right along to item 4, discussion and possible action to approve claims dated March 25th, 2019, in the amount of $369,418.94.
Move to approve. Second.
Scott has moved, Jeff has seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion is approved. Number 5, discussion and possible action to approve a grant application to the Community Foundation for $1,000 to be used to the Fall Conference of Iowa Association of County Conservation Boards with Conservation Director Kurt Weiss. Good morning, Kurt.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is kind of a quick application we're putting together. We are hosting the Fall Conference of the Iowa Association of County Conservation Boards here in Muscatine. Gave you that flyer, September 17th, 18th, and 19th. We are co-hosting it with Louisa County Conservation Board. The Merrill will be our host hotel, although most of the, that's where the people will be staying, but most of our activities, we've got them out. And so first day will be a riverboat cruise. We'll be bussing them up to Moline and then cruising back down to Muscatine. That'll give participants, from all across Iowa with the County Conservation Board system, a chance to get on the Mississippi River. Many of those we take it for granted. Many of them have never been on it. Get a chance to lock through 2 locks, which most people probably in their life have never locked through a dam on the Mississippi. So, and we will have educational programs on there, people talking about the fisheries, the wildlife, the lock and dam systems, recreation on that. And then that evening we'll be going down to Monsanto Bear, and people have a chance to see the big Sand Mound Preserve, and then we'll hold a barbecue down there. And then the next day is tours of our areas in Muscatine and Louisa County. And in Muscatine, we're just going to be going to Deep Lakes Park and Discovery Park, but we'll be showing them the new cabins we'll have up, the new restrooms and trail system down there and what is to come. And then at Discovery Park, we're highlight our environmental learning center as well as the new features that'll be over in the care facility area, the playground and bathrooms and shelter and all that will be completed by then. Fingers are crossed. Hopefully a new road system in. That's probably more going to be a problem than anything. But so anyway, our goal was to raise between $15,000 and $20,000 locally for this, and then we'll also be going after vendors that will be at that conference and try to raise some more money from them. But the goal to raise this money, of course, any extra will go to the association, and that helps them in the expenses. But the goal is to try to hold the registration costs down, and this riverboat cruise is costing us, I think it's $78 per person. And so to add that onto the registration kind of starts bringing it up, and you get some of these counties that complain about that. So we were seeing if we could supplement it and try to have it down that the registration, it's going to raise the registration cost $40 or $50 because of the riverboat cruise, and we could raise money locally. To date, we have raised $10,000, and so it's all opportunity to put in for a grant with the Community Foundation. This is gaming money that comes to Muscatine County, and so we've received money from there before, and so we put in for $1,000. I would give you a copy of the grant. It is not finished. My staff is still working on it. It's due at the end of the day, and we'll have it completed by then. But if there's any questions?
Kurt, if somebody wanted to attend this, what would we need to say? It's going to cost X amount of dollars for registration?
Right now, we just had a meeting last week. I want to get with our association executive director, but we're looking at $210 as being the registration cost. And of course, I guess that's a good point. I need to, I'm looking at probably inviting, well, for sure, you guys are invited. I would love to have 2 or 3 of you guys there, especially the first morning, usually when we have the breakfast before we go up to get ready for the boat. It's nice to have Board of Supervisors welcome all the people from across the state to Muscatine County. And then, of course, you guys are welcome to go on the boat or any of the other activities that we have. Yeah. But registration costs for the conference, they've been holding it the last like 4 years at $195, and that's what they wanted to try to hold it at, but I think we're just getting to the point that we're gonna have to raise it a little bit, and I don't think raise it at $15 is gonna make the difference between people coming and not coming.
What's the target that we're trying to get for attendance?
Our goal is to at least 300, and that actually, I'm hoping we're not gonna have a problem meeting that. We actually had to guarantee the boat for 300 people. The attendance has been slipping the last few years, and that's why we're also changing the dates. It was always geared before towards directors and board members, and so they try to hold it on a weekend. Well, we're noticing that even then, you know, the dynamics of our board members are changing, you know. A lot of them across the state, and I don't characterize, but a lot of them were farmers and so they looked at, you know, they wanted to get away on a weekend or something like that. Well, now a lot of our people on the board are business people now. They're already doing a lot of traveling. They want to be at home on weekends with their family, you know, and Friday night football games, the high school football games are going. So we are actually going to a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And they did that last year. They tried that. They did it in Polk County. And their attendance went up. They were still not quite at 300, but the largest banquet ever held was held down in Burlington. I was involved in that one. Des Moines County, we did it as a district. We had over 400 people at that conference. That also involved a riverboat. People want to get out on that Mississippi River. And so we have 90 rooms reserved at the Merrill, and then we also have the America Inn, and we're going to have to get one more. I think we've got 88 of the 90 rooms already reserved. Registration has not even went out. We're hoping to have the registration packets out to people by the end of April. So just advertising what we're doing with this flyer has already generated, you know, 88 rooms being reserved down at Merrill. So I think from the buzz I'm hearing, we're gonna be at our 300 or plus, and so that's good. So that's
Good,
cool.
good. And we're using social media some sort as well too?
Pardon me?
Are you using social media to advertise this?
Well, because this is mainly just advertised for our association. We're not going out to the general public
To try to get any
for
general,
this.
okay.
And so it's going through, our association has all the email contacts with all the members, because it's mainly for all County Conservation Board employees across the state. As I said before, geared towards board members, so it'd be the 5 board members of the 99 counties, and then the, you know, of course, the directors of those 99 counties.
Okay,
That is mainly who it's geared towards.
good.
Well, I'd move to approve the grant application.
Jeff has moved, Scott has seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 6, items with County Engineer Keith White. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning.
First up, you've got a resolution opposing Senate Study Bill 1045 and Senate File 184.
Correct, and this is something, like I said, last week we were not aware of this in time to make the agenda, but they had asked that counties please do this anyway. To my knowledge, it hasn't been voted, but I could be wrong on that. And send it to your senator, send it to the governor, and it basically restates all the concerns that we have with bridges.
I'd move to approve that. Yeah, good. Second. That is seconded. Just one quick question, Keith. I think it's the 4th whereas clause saying that many of the bridges owned by the county are aging, structurally deficient, or functionally obsolete.
Yes.
When I hear that, maybe just the lawyer me thinking, but I hear that a lot of our bridges are, I hear that means our bridges will not hold the traffic that's currently on. And I'm assuming that's not accurate.
Well, I'd say it is accurate. There are two terms that are used in receiving bridge funding, and that's structurally deficient, and that means they have some deficiency that they don't carry a full legal load.
Okay.
So we have, I didn't bring a count, but I've showed you how you fix an aging one here, and this one comes to, we kind of stay real steady with maybe 20 bridges posted. So they are structurally deficient. Functionally obsolete means typically they're not to today's standards, so they're probably too narrow.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean a narrow bridge, but the design standards, traffic counts in that dictate how wide a structure should be. That's the typical functionally obsolete meaning.
So I guess,
But let me, up on Old Highway 6.
Yep.
Okay, we've replaced 2 of the 3 structures that the state graciously gave to us for over $3 million. The third one is structurally deficient and functionally obsolete and fracture critical. What does that mean? That means there's no redundancy in it. So you fail one member, you're going to fail the bridge. We've got structures out there like that, and we frankly are not blessed with as many of them as a lot of counties. They might be half their system easily, but it does mean somewhat what it sounds.
so I just want to make sure though that people reading this or seeing this on TV don't think if they drive across a bridge they're going to fall in the water and die. If they use it as posted, they should still be fine.
Yeah,
That addresses my
that's
concern.
correct.
Okay, thanks, appreciate it. Any other discussion? Okay.
And
All those-
Nathan, this is a roll call vote.
Okay, thank you. Jeff? Aye. Scott? Aye. Doug? Aye. Santos?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Keith? Update on the project, sir?
Okay, construction wise, again, not much to report. We had mentioned this for a while, but Iron City Avenue, where we replaced a small bridge down there by the conservation area down there, and you know, the bridge got finished and the road's been open, but there was dirt work left to be done. Well, that's still hanging out there, and just to note, there's a lot of water covering the project site. So frankly, probably need a couple months of dry weather before a contractor could ever attempt to finish that up. And really our parking lot project out there, we've got work to continue to do on that. The bridge on 155th Street, which is F70, but on the gravel portion west of State 70, is actually just west of Elder. The erosion control sub was there to put erosion control devices on that. But the latest we have is the contractor thinks it'll probably be a couple months before they can start work on that bridge replacement. On the design side, not a lot different there other than 231st, G28. We were finally able to speak to somebody with Bridgestone last week, meaning they finally returned a call, or we finally got them to answer a phone, and they said they needed another 2 weeks to review what they've had for 6 weeks. So, and then Lutheran Homes, you know, no phone calls, no email responses from them. So, and we became aware of some other issues there. So I'm gonna say today, I don't see that happening this year. and I can fill you in on some of my other concerns offline, but it's not coming along real swiftly. I think that's the main things on projects update.
Anything else for us?
For other, I got a couple things. First, I'm going to talk about flooding. I mean, we've had a cedar crest. I guess God knows if and when the next one will come. But I want you to be aware, 152nd, that's the dead end back to the Cedar River. It took a real hit. I mean, we're gonna we haven't had time to put together a thought on dollars, but you know, that's that one that goes back to those cabins back there, and it is not good. There's still water on it, but I mean, we can see that it's taken the biggest hit it's taken since '08, I think. And then Salisbury took a bit of a hit. And you know, what else we might find, I don't know, but it's still time to be thinking of just how many tens or hundreds of thousands we're gonna keep pouring into 152nd, so we can live in cabins in the swamp. So, questions on any of that? Then the other item I had were flooding results. This is off the DOT website. They have it, you can see it was the 19th. Usually they take about a week to look at these numbers and decide what they think they mean. So we have not officially heard from them, but these they are, as it's entitled, the apparent bids, with Macaulay Culvert being the red low at $253,195.50. They would do the same things that we do. In other words, they check the math, and again, I don't know, they might have 100 projects in this letting, so it's not like they do it all instantly. But they check the math, and they look against their opinion of the cost, which again, they never ever share or release ever. But I can tell you this number is very close to our opinion of the cost, so we think there's, the first two bids are very reasonable bids. So I would expect we will hear sometime this week from the DOT saying, decide if you're going to award this. And then just a quick reminder, going forward, all the contract documents are happening electronically now, and we do have Nathan set up to, when they get uploaded to, well, things that happen in the background, the DOT will upload the contract, and I think we have to send it forward, not Nathan, but and when the contractor electronically signs it and provides the insurance certificate and provides the bond, then it comes back through the DOT to us. And if the board has acted, then Nathan or whoever is sitting in that spot has to approve the bond and then approve the contract. So, and this project is the one that's on North Isett, just north of F70. It's a little bridge, we have two bridges that aren't good, just north of F70.
Have you worked with Macaulay Culvert in the past?
We have.
Okay, I just couldn't remember that.
We have.
Okay.
You know, I would say there was some hope that that Iowa Bridge would get it since they have our other project, and we wouldn't be dealing with two entities at once, but it didn't, the numbers, unless the DOT finds something wrong and changes what they send out officially, it looks to me like it'll be McCauley.
Any further discussion? Anything else, Keith?
Just say roads, you know, we're still coming out of winter. We just saw the first day of spring here 4 days ago, so the roads are soft. And we're having to exercise care with what, if anything, we can do out there. We've more done things like pothole patching.
Thank you, sir. Next up, item number 7, discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of the March 18th regular meeting.
Move. Second.
Jeff has moved, Scott has seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 8, correspondence, Santos.
I just had 2 items. I emailed them to the county engineer in regards to road conditions, and as he just mentioned, right now, they haven't been able to get to those, and hopefully they'll get to them once the roads get cleared up.
Jeff?
Nothing to note.
All right. I had, and I think a lot of us, if not all of us, got an email from a gentleman, I believe his name Nichols, complaining about rock in the ditch. Scott?
And for correspondence, that's all I had as well as that same email.
And,
I had a call from Jim Meredith on the 19th, telling me that they bladed the road and they really improved it a lot and appreciated it. I got the same email from Steve LaHaye, and it was rock in the ditches, and thinking the road grader needed to run the height on his blade. I don't know if anybody's addressed it or Keith wants to, did you get that email?
I did. It just came, so no, it's not been addressed, but
In a winter
drive
like
the
this?
county, drive, I don't know, Scott's driveway, and you'll find rock in the ditch.
Well, what I was gonna say is, if you don't get the snow off the road, they're really upset because the road's not.
Could have easily been November. We had a deep, wet
Yeah.
snow, road was rocked up in it. If you remove the snow, you remove rock. But
Yep. And this is one of the worst winters we've had, so
Yes.
there's no way to get away from it. That was all I had for correspondence.
okay, thank you. Committee reports?
I had a fair board meeting at the West Liberty Fairgrounds on Thursday, the 21st, at 8 o'clock.
Scott?
On Monday, the 18th, I had the conservation board, and when Kurt was here, he touched on that briefly on the restrooms and playground equipment. They're looking at the new playground equipment to be delivered, and I'm speaking for out there at Discovery Park, just east of the old barn in that area. Looking for that on delivery on May the 2nd, so the first part of May. They're hoping that shows up and they get that installed for the summer season for the individuals, and looking for the restrooms to be delivered into May, 1st of June. And of course, you saw Kurt cross his fingers and hope that all works out, so I hope it does too. On Wednesday, the 20th, I had Riverbend Transit, and Randy Zobrist, the director, he'd been out to DC on with some meetings, and came back from there, and the tale's always the same of no federal dollars, and one thing that I knew the fleet was aging in the state of Iowa, but we have a situation in the state that's not very envious, that we either have the oldest or next to the oldest fleet of public transportation vehicles in the country. So, and they threw a number out there. It would take it would take $151 million to bring the statewide fleet up to standard, so that's not very comforting.
You can't get these on the historic register, can you?
Well, I've not checked into that. Also, on the Wednesday the 20th, I had the Board of Health, and then on Friday the 22nd, I went to the Region 9 Transportation meeting as a the representative for Riverbend Transit and sat on that board, and they had a nice short presentation on the Muscatine County trail systems, and they had maps there that I brought for the group to take a look at, and it gives you just a really nice overshot of what the trails are, and proposed trails, and so on and so forth. So that's all I had.
On Tuesday the 19th, we tried to have the veterans meeting. Unfortunately, we did not have a quorum, so we had a nice chat and then went our separate ways. On Monday the 18th, I had the Mental Health Disability Services Region Board meeting. We approved, although with a bit of heartburn, a year 4 contract for Robert Young Center, which they're maybe really stepping up services. We also took note of the fact that it looks like the state will be upping the balance carryover limitations from 20 or 25% to 40%, which, true to form, is another Band-Aid that will maybe buy us another year or two, but doesn't offer any solution funding going long-term going forward. I also reiterated our Muscatine County's stance that we are not going to be able to transfer funding as requested to the region because of the limitations of our budget. And David Farmer suggested that we might be able to pay that out of fund balance, the $300,000 plus, and I said, well, theoretically that's possible. I wouldn't hold your breath. So that's kind of where we are on the region. We may have another year of life thanks to if this bill does pass and is signed by the governor, but we still await significant challenges in the dealing with the children's mental health system, and potentially medical care for inmates. So you knock one thing down and 3 others pop up. Jeff?
I had the Region 9 Transportation Board on Friday as well. One other item I failed to mention under correspondence, so I guess it was, I think the board saw the letter from the Director of Workforce Development on the realignment of the regions, workforce regions. And I don't know what this board wants to do. I think it's a terrible idea. They've taken, there were 9 workforce board regions, and so if you think about that, you know, we've participated, and I've been on it for a number of years. We've got business, labor interests, and political leaders in 5 county, I think, Clinton, Jackson, Muscatine, Scott, all meet, and it's been a challenge to get membership and forums at meetings over the time to do the business of the board. And now they want to reorganize the state from the 15 regions we have today to 6. So if you look at the proposed region that we would be in, we would go all the way down to the Missouri border, all the way up along the Mississippi up to Clinton County. I'd say there's a snowball's hope that you're going to get to be able to transact business in most of these counties just by the sheer size of the region. And to get volunteers basically to travel that far to do business. So I don't know whether we should go on record of opposing this regionalization, or, you know, part of it is that, you know, the funding for unemployment services is down because it's based on unemployment rates. And, you know, the national unemployment rate is way down, the state unemployment rates are way down, so funding is way down. And so they see this as a way to consolidate that. It's new federal legislation they're reacting to, and I don't know, it's the 3rd reorganization expand it and be done with it. I don't know the solution, but I just don't think this is a winner.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map, Jeff, you're right. I mean, it puts Atumwa in with Council Bluffs, it puts Macocot in with Keokuk. You know, it's ridiculous.
It's 3-hour one-way drive for some of these folks.
Right.
Yeah. Minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, for ours, if, yeah.
Yeah, we've traditionally been in Scott County, it's been kind of we tried, you know, when I first was on the board, they would rotate it, and we'd get, you know, when we go to Muscatine or we go to Jackson County, we'd get no members show up, hardly anyone show up. And so, you know, I said, I don't mind driving an hour, but it's when I have to go 2 hours, it makes it a more difficult meeting to make, and having volunteers as well, so we just kind of stayed with Scott County, but now, you know, maybe Muscatine and Wynn, we do the location, we're kind of central. But I just don't think it'll work. So, that's what that letter's all about. I don't know if there's any stopping it. I think we gave similar feedback in the process, and it didn't change, so. They will do what they want to do. That's all I have.
Santos?
I didn't have any meetings.
Information from county employees. I see Brian is raring to go.
Good morning. Just going to give you an update on our flooding situation right now and the information that I've been sending out and been receiving. National Weather Service has the river level at Muscatine at 20.6. We are above major flood stage at this present time. Our tributaries are going down. The Cedar at Combsville is 14.91, which is just under moderate. In addition, there will be a meeting with the Weather Service that I'll participate in this afternoon about flooding. We still have a lot of snow north of us, a lot of water in it. We're also looking at April, this rain, so a lot of factors still in with this. And then lastly, this is with the state of Iowa, the Severe Weather Week, and this Wednesday will be a statewide tornado drill, which Muscatine County will be participating in. We will be activating the sirens on Wednesday, March 27th at 10:15, just going through the procedures of it. And that's all I have.
Wednesday at 10:15, right?
Yes. I've reached out to media sources. I've contacted newspapers, internet. I've reached out to some of the city administrators, so they're aware of that.
The school systems as well.
Yes, I've reached out to those too. Thank you.
Any questions for Brian? Thanks, sir. Thank you for keeping us updated with the daily reports on the flooding.
You're welcome.
Any other county employees? Yes, sir. Keith.
I was looking for the exact email and I hadn't found it yet, but I should mention the governor's office. A lot of counties across Iowa have been hit really hard by this spring. And the governor's office has said, well, we're gonna do something about it. And they're talking about giving everybody like $500,000 to use towards rock. Doesn't mean that's gonna happen, but if you hear about that, I mean, so far everybody's saying, yeah, that'd be great, that'd help a lot. So, just thought I'd pass that on too.
Thank you.
I do have one more. Iowa is, the governor did declare a expedited major declaration. It's sent to the president, so the state of Iowa does have a presidential declaration for 56 counties. As of my knowledge, there's really nothing on eastern Iowa. It's basically a lot of the problems that they've had in western Iowa.
Items from the administration office.
I actually don't have anything.
All right. Hope you're feeling better. Anybody have anything else? All right, folks, we're adjourned.